Instagram, here I am, Jamie. Doesn't quite rhyme, does it, guys? Instagram, do your thing. Tell the people. Tell them. We are telling followers that you've started live. Tell them. Hurry up. We've got things to talk about. 3 things, in fact. 3 things. Going to change your lives forever. They're going to change. I am going to hold on. I am holding on. I'm holding on for you, Instagram. Guys, so if you do, come on, guys, please do give us a like. And if you have any questions about health and fitness, then please do give us a shout as well, whether it's to do with kind of training sessions themselves or whether it's to do with nutrition, guys. Please do comment away. Even if it's after this live and you're watching it back, I will answer those questions as well, guys. But today, what I want to focus on, guys, is 3 things to help with your goals right now, to help you stay on track as much as possible. The weather is absolutely voila. What do I mean by that? Very hot. So, is anyone else suffering from hay fever? That's why I've gone AWOL. Oh my God, my life's been an absolute misery. Absolute misery. And I asked people to help me out saying, what do you guys actually use? And do you know what? I thought just using antihistamines was enough. People use all sorts. I did not realise wipes, nasal sprays. I thought you could only use one thing at a time, otherwise I might perish. Turns out you can use all sorts. Anyway, guys, that is not the reason why we're here. We are here to talk about 3 things that are going to help you with your goals right now. First and foremost, team, or well, 2 things actually, is the answer to life, guys. Protein and, yes, I should give us some love, give us a like, is protein and water. Yes, I tell all my members, the answer to life is protein and water. Some believe it, some don't, to be fair. More for them. No, I'm joking. So, protein and water are 2 simple ways to kind of help you get on track in terms of your performance, but also body composition goals, guys. Okay, now, the first thing I'm going to focus on, and why I'm actually suggesting to focus on these things. Now, I was saying to my members over the weekend, so I do lives on a weekly basis, and we kind of do a checkup on every Sunday/Monday. I've been struggling with my eating at the moment in terms of actually wanting to eat. Now, what happens with that when I don't want to eat throughout the day is because it's too hot, is probably towards the evening, I'll find that I actually want to reach for calorific foods or not kind of dense type foods. So what that means is I'll go for the crisp, I'll go for the chocolates, I'll go for the magnums, which are absolutely crucial in terms of anyone's diet. Magnums, guys, oh my God, they're amazing. But yes, anyway, and Tip Tops actually as well. But yes, so these are things I'll kind of look to kind of reach for, more so than anything else, and also alcohol at the same time. That's a story for another time. But yes, so why am I talking about this, Jamie? What protein comes in? So protein is going to be the thing that's going to help satiate you, so actually fill you up, so when you do get to the evening, you're not necessarily going to want these foods, okay? It's hot, so we need foods that are going to be relatively fresh foods. So how do we do that? I'm going to give you a couple of meal ideas that you can look to potentially add in, guys, okay? Now, these aren't right or wrong. They're just ideas that I tend to have myself, and they may work for you. The question is, which Magnum, white, chocolate, or normal? Do you know what? I do like the white Magnums quite a lot, but Nim has recently got, so my partner Nim, she's been getting salted caramel ones. Oh my God, absolute pouring on a stick, that is. Pouring on a stick, amazing. So I'll probably go with the salted caramel ones. Salted caramel. Tasha, which ones are you all? Which ones are you? Which ones do you like? Let me know. I'm going to be cracking on with this anyway. Call it out. But yes, guys, anyway, so first thing we have, so in terms of breakfast, guys, we don't want to be having something hot, although I'll give you an idea of something hot. What could we have instead? So we can look at having phase yogurt, guys. You've heard it all before. It's first. Sam, give us some love. Give us a like. Got any questions about life? Do not ask about health and fitness. I may be able to help. But in terms of protein and yogurt, in terms of the morning, guys. So phase yogurt, around 100 grams. I tend to have 200 grams of that. So for every 100 grams, it gives you around 10 grams of protein, give or take. So if you have 100 grams of that, and then add a half a scoop of protein, not a full one because it might go a little bit thicker, a bit minging with that one. Stir it in, banana, fruit in there as well. Kablama! And you've got a protein hit around 20 to 30 grams. If you have 200 grams of yogurt with a full scoop of protein in there, you've got even more. You've got about I don't know, 30 to 40 grams of protein. Absolute winner. Sammy! Give us some love, Sam. Give us some love. We're all in. We are all in. Invite your friends, invite them all. So in terms of protein, in terms of bumping up your protein, in terms of a kind of refreshing breakfast, then that's a good way to go, guys. Okay, and again, it's increasing your protein intake, which is going to satiate you. It's going to make you feel a little bit fuller as well. It's vegan friendly at the same time, guys, as well. So look to have it with that one. Venetia's in as well. Venetia, give us some love. I can't want to say vegan because it's vegan. Venetia. Vegan's in. Venetia is in the house. Give us some love, Venetia. Any questions about life, do not ask, but about protein and water, about health and fitness, give us a shout on protein and water as well. Next idea, guys, is scrambled egg. You can do it, to be fair, you can do absolutely anything, to be fair. You can do absolutely anything, to be fair. So in terms of scrambled egg. So scramble your eggs up, have your vegan breakfast. I'll come back to that one in a second. So get romaine lettuce or even Chinese lettuce, scrambled egg, 3-4 scrambled eggs, bang it in your lettuce, bang some tomatoes in there, so chop up some cherry tomatoes in there as well, salt and pepper, bish bash bosh, boosh. You've got like an egg wrap in there as well. Absolutely fine, quite refreshing, relatively filling, around 20 to 30 grams of protein in that hit as well, and it's absolutely easy to go with that one as well. And to be fair with that one, Tasha, you can have that for lunch, to be fair as well. I tend to go through phases in terms of eating breakfast, but as long as you're getting plenty of water down, then that's absolutely fine for you with that one. So in terms of vegan breakfast, you can do with absolutely everything, to be fair. So you get the chicken pieces, which are vegan friendly as well. You can do it with tofu at the same time, mix it up, scrambled tofu. You do exactly the same with that, to be fair, Venetia. Things like that, quite easy to do. Again, adding different flavours in there. I would always suggest with tofu, this is from Nim, my partner, she tends to marinate it the night before, just so there's more flavour to it, because it's quite hard for it to kind of soak up the flavour. So if you are someone who's quite big on and need flavour with it as well, and you're not quite content with just adding it on the day, then I would look to kind of add it the night before with that one. So it does have a little prep involved with that one. So I hope that helps Vanish with that one. Other things you can look to do, guys, well, is look to increase your salads as well, because it is warm. It's a lot harder to eat. It's a lot harder to eat your like your normal foods that you may usually eat, to be fair as well. So a couple of things that Nim's been doing for us recently as well is we've been talking about romaine lettuce, talking about getting Chinese lettuce in as well. Josh, give us some love, my man. Got any questions about health and fitness, do give me a shout. But looking at romaine lettuce, looking at Chinese lettuce as well. Been getting sprouts at the same time and kind of putting them in a like dark room, covering them all up so they actually sprout out a little bit as well, which actually slightly increases the nutrient density, but also increases the protein ever so slightly as well. Bean sprouts, should I say. What else you can add in there as well? Raw onions is absolutely fine. Sun-dried tomatoes. Now, the fat is absolutely very high. But if you're not necessarily looking towards a kind of fat loss phase, you could probably still do it if you kind of track it, but they're amazing. Whoa. Sun-dried tomatoes, guys, chopped up, get them in there as well. What else do we have? So we look to, what else we have in there? Oh, we had all sorts in there. Peppers, things like that are absolutely fine, guys. You can add cucumber things in there as well at the same time. You can add chicken in there to get your protein content a little bit higher as well. Plant bacon. I know Nim has actually had, is it Viv? What's it called, Viv? Let's have a look. Vivera. So if you're a vegan, vegetarian, Vivera, you can get the steaks, slice them up as well. You can get the Wicked packs. So Nim has got chicken Wicked packs, which is vegan friendly, I think it is. Which you could kind of bang that in the oven, fry it, and then chuck that in there as well at the same time. And that's actually really good as well, guys. Really simple, really effective. Bumps up that protein content, but keeps your food relatively fresh, rather than being like the same old, I'm gonna have a sandwich for lunch as well. You can pre-make it the night before, you can make it on the day before as well. If you have got time for bulk cooking as well, the weekend is making Vital Wheat Gluten as well, and coming up with something called Satan. I'm not going into detail about that because that is a whole another live within itself with that one. Other ways we can look to bump up your intake as well, guys, okay, is super shake. So I'm not talking about just a protein shake. Now, there's nothing wrong with adding a protein shake into your diet, because that's good to bump it up, okay? But if you find that you need to be filled up because you will tend to graze a little bit later in the evening, or you don't tend to eat that much and you find that you're hungrier in the evening, super shakes is a good way, or you're on the go actually. So this is good for those who are on the go as well, is super shake. So what you would do with a super shake, guys, is in your blender is half a cup of water, chuck plenty of ice in there as well, couple of big handfuls of spinach. If you're a female, 1 scoop of protein, male, 2 scoops of protein, essentially. Then you can look to add a banana or a couple of pieces of fruit in there if you want to with that one. To look to get a little bit of fat content in there, you can have a scoop of nuts, whatever it is, not like your salted or roasted nuts. You can look at actually having like Brazil nuts, almonds, things like that as well. Or if you want to be a little bit cheeky, is add some peanut butter in there as well. But don't go like shoveling in a big lab of peanut butter and chucking it in there, guys. Still got calories in there, essentially. So if you are on a fat loss goal or weight loss kind of goal at the moment, it's probably not ideal for that one. But blend that bastard up and it is absolutely glorious. Carry it around with you all day. It's easy to drink, to be fair. You don't need to drink it all in one go. I try to tend to drink them all in one go, to be fair as well. Check my man, give us a love, give us a wave. Maya's in the house as well. If you have any questions, guys, do give us a shout as well, guys. Please, please do. It's about life. You don't know. Health and fitness. I know a little bit about that. Yes, guys, so super shakes, something to consider with that, guys. It's barbecue season as well. So if you find that you like having barbecue, and in terms of, we've got the salad, which we spoke about anyway. We've talked about kind of, well, not necessarily here, but bulk cooking your chicken, things like that. But in terms of you like having burgers, vegan, normal burgers, doesn't really matter, to be fair, he's actually having it on romaine lettuce or Chinese lettuce. So Nim calls it the bunless burger. So have salad on the side. Rather than having buns, again, this is keeping it fresh, but also, again, if you're kind of on a fat loss goal, is having your Chinese lettuce with a burger on top with whatever you want on top of that, and then the Chinese lettuce on top of that, and chewing away at it. And to be fair, it's actually really nice. Keeps it relatively down in terms of your calories. France have just gone 1-0 up. Got it on next to me, Euros. But yeah, so in terms of keeps calories down, but it's quite refreshing as well at the same time. So it's barbecue season, a nice little way to still get it in there, keep it simple, and yeah, have something a little bit different with that one, guys, okay? Now, in terms of, kind of move on to the next bit, guys, in terms of water. Now, it's super important that we're getting enough water in anyway, because it's warm. We need to make sure that we're kind of topping up with that one. Now, if you're training, even more so, because when you train, you exercise, you sweat, we need to basically replace that. Now, in terms of what water actually does, it increases circulation in the body, increases performance in terms of thinking, increases performance when you actually exercise as well. Is it a good idea doing IF during hot weather? Intermittent fasting. If you are kind of drinking plenty of water, I would say it's fine. You'll know yourself, to be fair. Intermittent fasting, for those who don't know, is a way to basically just eat your food. It's just a way to kind of stretch out your food essentially. So you'll have certain periods of time in the day, usually towards like evening at some point throughout the night into the morning or afternoon, where you won't eat any foods, or you won't kind of set off that calorie clock as such. You'll only be able to drink water or black coffee throughout that period if you're to do it kind of like to the point essentially with that one. And then you'll have a window in which you kind of eat your calories, and you might have that in 2 meals, you might have to do that in 3 meals. I think the most the biggest one that people tend to do, or the most common one, is 16 and 8. So 16 hours without food, 8 hours when you have your window in which you can eat food essentially as well. To be fair, hot weather is only drinking your water. I wouldn't see any issues with doing it, in all fairness, Venetia, with that one. It's entirely up to you. If you find that you're feeling a little bit kind of dazed throughout the day, or a little bit faint, then I probably wouldn't do it. But again, it's personal preference in terms of how it works for you essentially with that one, okay? So yes, that's in terms of intermittent fasting. But in terms of water, guys, okay, couple of things that you, sorry, let me not close the fridge door. In terms of what you should be doing in terms of this, guys, okay, you should be looking at hitting every 23 kilograms of body weight. You should be having 1 litre of water, okay? This is not taking exercise into consideration as well, okay? So 23 kilograms of body weight, you should be having 1 litre of water. I worked mine out a little bit earlier, so around 87 kilos, I think mine worked out at 3.7 litres of water. Now, if I'm exercising, then looking at increasing my my water probably by at least a litre, because again, I've got to replace what I'm doing. Essentially, if you exercise, well, first thing in the morning, you should be having at least a pint of water. And then, especially when you're training, you should be having at least, well, if you're training in the evening, you probably should be having at least your full amount of water intake for the day, and then replacing it with that one. And any sort of drink you actually have, then within the session itself, it should be gone before the end of the session with that. I always have my cup of water bottle at hand and have my 2 litres a day. Awesome. Cool. Sounds good. Is that my big fan of that? Big fan. Yes, guys. So, and in terms of those who struggle with eating water, set like mini, what do you call them? Like mini alarms in your phone. I think Chet just said there's an app there, Fastic. I think that's to do with water, I'm not too sure. Or whether that's to do with fasting, I'm not too sure. But yeah, in terms of, everyone's adults here, guys, okay? Drink your water, get it down, your hot water with lime this time of year. Oh, it's bloody hot, that, to be fair. But yes, in terms of water, guys, just get it down, essentially, with that one team, okay? And the final one, guys, now, this was conversations that I've had over the years, to be fair. Over the years, and ways that are kind of going to help people kind of stick on point in terms of exercise themselves, but also to kind of reduce, not necessarily injuries, but kind of be put off from doing certain body parts, essentially, with that, okay? And honestly, whether it's upper body, lower body, you should always incorporate whole body sessions throughout a week, or whole body exercise throughout the week. Now, the reason being for that one, it creates balance throughout the body. It helps with your posture moving forward. If you start leaving things out, you're kind of looking towards problems, okay? So whether that's back problems, knee problems, elbow problems, shoulder problems, whatever it may be. So obviously, if you're doing just legs, then you're going to have upper body problems. If you're doing just upper body, you're going to have lower body problems as well. Don't shy away from things. Sometimes just having that structure in place on what to do and why you should do it, guys, essentially, okay? So I'm going to give you a basic structure right now. If you've got a pen and paper, and you're quite funky with exercise, you kind of know what you're doing, you can always go to Stronger Together on YouTube and type it in. You'll probably find it in there anyway. Is what to typically do within a session, guys, okay? So typically there are 5 main things, and then add the 6 component in there as well, guys. Okay, so the first thing you should be looking to within an exercise session is some variation of a squat, guys. Okay, so squatting is basically sitting down onto a chair like you would do, or sitting down on a toilet seat. That's basically what a squat is, guys. Okay, so I bet you're all thinking now, I wonder what I actually look like when I'm sitting down on a chair or sitting down on the toilet. Try it out, okay? But anyway, that's basically what a squat is, guys. Okay, so whether you do that holding the weight, whether you do body weight, whether you do it on a bar on your back, it doesn't really matter, guys, okay? You start where you start, essentially, okay? Doing a squat with that. Now, next exercise you should be looking at doing. So you should have one exercise as kind of focal point in terms of a session. If you've just got into exercise and you're looking to learn movements 3 times a week, I would do this session 3 times a week, essentially, with that one, guys. If anyone wants anything specific, then I'll kind of break that down a little bit more with that one. Can you do squats with a bad knee? Completely depends, to be fair. It depends on your movement. Could be a tweak in terms of technique. In terms of if you're kind of struggling to squat completely, I would possibly do a glute bridge instead. But I would reach out to a professional who actually knows what they're talking about in terms of movement, so they can get a better idea of what you can do with that one, okay? With that. So, or alternatively, if you want me to have a look at your squat, take a video of you squatting, and then send it to me. I'll give you some tips on how to overcome that mire as well. I'll be more than happy to do that as well, my lovely. So, next point you should be looking at doing within a session is a pull type movement. Okay, so whether that is a chin-ups or overhead, pulling down, pulling yourself into the air on a chin-up bar, or if it's a lat pull down, so the bars which you pull down in towards your chest there, add that in there. It could be just a normal single arm row. It could be the horizontal rows that you see in the gym as well, doing some form of pulling movement. Now, the reason being is we want to get the upper back muscles fired up. Now, we can superset that with your squat. With the squat, although it is whole body, majority of it is going through the lower body and possibly your hips and your core, essentially with that one. So if we're kind of sat down and doing a pulling exercise, we're not working the same muscles, not really. So you've got enough energy to recover from the legs and your core, whilst working your back muscles as well. So you're saving time, so time saving, while still getting some bang for buck exercise in there as well. And in terms, you're looking to build strength, anything from 5 to 8 reps should be absolutely fine with that one. If you're looking to build a bit of muscle mass, which everyone should look to do at some point, then look to increase to 8 to 12 reps with that one, guys, okay? Second part, I will look to add a lunge type movement in there. So a split squat, it might be a rear foot elevated split squat, it could be a reverse lunge, it could be a walk-in lunge. Reverse lunges, if you're someone who kind of is unsure about the knees, so Maya, I know you said should be your knees, is reverse lunge probably the best bet to do to begin with, because it just takes the pressure off the knees. Any sort of walk-in lunge, you have to decelerate on the way down into the movement, so you've just got to be a little bit aware of that. So if you have weak glutes, weak ankle muscles, you might be a little bit open to kind of knee pain. So just something to consider with that one, guys, okay? And you look to superset that with some sort of push type movement. So it could be a push-up, could be an overhead press, anything like that. Never, Maya, never, old age needs no such things. Never. I'm not having that, Maya. Not having that. Send me a video of your squat, I'll help you out. I will 100% help you out with that. Helping out, adding a push-up in there, okay, or push variation. Could be a dumbbell bench press, could be a normal bench press, to be fair. Could be an overhead press with a barbell, could be a single arm overhead press. Things like that will be absolutely fine. 8 to 12 reps on those exercises would work quite nicely with that one. And then to finish up with the end of the session, guys, will be a hinge type movement, and we'll do it in a cardio format, so like a kettlebell swing or a kettlebell deadlift for speed with that one. Hitting, I don't know, say for example you want to kind of work yourself quite hard, so you can set a timer for like 40 seconds work, 20 seconds rest, and you could alternate that with a plank hold, okay? Those two exercises go quite nice together, because you think about a kettlebell swing, when you're standing at the top of that exercise, it's actually a plank position, okay? Food for thought with that one, guys, okay? 40 seconds work, 20 seconds rest, alternate between those exercises, aim between 3 to 4 sets with that one. Kerry, hello, my lovely, give us some love. I hope you're all good. If you've got any questions about health and fitness, then do give me a shout about life. I do not know, no idea. Yes, give us a shout. But yes, guys, so try that out. So exercise 1 and 2 will be a squat and a row variation, horizontal row variation. 5 to 8 if you want to build strength, 8 to 12 if you're looking to build a little bit of muscle mass. They'll both do it anyway, to be fair, guys. More about the nutritional side of things. Second part of the session will be a lunge of some kind, reverse lunge, walking lunge with a push-up type movement or a pressing type movement, bench press, overhead press, things like that. 8 to 12 reps. Finishing up the session with a kettlebell swing or deadlift, and then adding a plank exercise in there. 40 seconds work with a 20 seconds rest, 3 to 4 sets on each of those exercises, guys, with that one team. So that squad is absolutely all from me today, guys. If you have any other questions at all, then please do give us a shout. Give us a like, share this with friends, family you feel it may benefit at all. If you want to refer back to this, then do save it for another time. But either way, guys, that is absolutely all from me this evening. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you guys all on Saturday when I jump back on the live then, guys. Okay, so peace out, A-Town, down now.